Hello, hi there, it's Jason from the Meta Rush, and welcome back. Today, we're going to take a snapshot of exactly where we are in terms of how Bitmap is progressing with the amount of owners, how many are currently for sale, what is the current floor price, even though that isn't really important at this stage. However, I think it's still worth us acknowledging where it is at today's price point, as well as trying to establish the activity of these bitmaps. Are they being collected as frequently as we perhaps think they are? And as I said, fundamentally, it's to just put a real snapshot of exactly where we are today. And hopefully we can, in the future, come back to this video and see exactly how far things have moved ahead. So without further ado, let's rush into it. So we're just going to head over to Magic Eden. And what's really great to see is that on the trending side of things, within the last 7 days, Bitmap is on the second position, which is brilliant. Just wonder what it looks like in the last 30 days. So Bitmap is also on the second position within the 30-day period, which is great. And looking at this, it seems to be trading at a floor price of 0.000258 Bitcoin, which is okay, I guess. And probably, in all honesty, quite a reasonable price at the moment, which is all fair enough. And as you can see, we've surpassed the 23k owners, which is fantastic. I think that's a huge milestone at the moment. And it's really cool to see that there's obviously quite a, I mean, looking at this, it says there's 24.2 thousand bitmaps that have been listed for sale, which is really, really cool. I mean, when you think there's this 809.8 thousand bitmaps, that is quite a small number of bitmaps that people are wishing to essentially sell off, which is interesting and really shows the amount of, I guess, diamond hands and people that genuinely believe in this and do not want to sell what they believe they have collected ultimately. So that's really, really good to see. Now, obviously, buying and selling is always a good thing. The whole trading of them, I think, is fantastic at the end of the day for this market to become maturer. For it to, I mean, I guess in some degree, we're going to want to see the owner count increase as much as possible, because hopefully that will mean that there's going to be a more fairer distribution of these bitmaps. Whereas obviously at the moment, when you look at the ratio of 809,000 bitmaps in supply and there only being 23,000, it's quite obvious that a lot of the owners are essentially hoarding these, quite big numbers of bitmaps. But I am sure as projects develop, as the price increases, people will want to offload. And ultimately, when people have got, I believe, multiple collectibles, or in this case, bitmaps, it's always with the intention that at some point when it hits a certain price point, they're going to want to offload. Now, I don't know what your price point will be. For me, at the moment, I haven't got a particular price point that I would like to see them get sold off at the moment. I'm in this for the long run. That's my take on it, unless something drastically changes. But right now, I am extremely committed to these bitmaps. Of course, at some point, I'm going to offload, but I hope to only offload a very small proportion of them. And I see it two ways. One, I would like to recover my original investment that I've put into this. Secondly, it also gives an opportunity, hopefully, for new people to be able to enter this space and be a part of this community. So, I think it's good to be honest. I think it's good to be straight. And I wouldn't worry if you've only got a few handful of bitmaps, because I genuinely do believe that these bitmaps are going to increase significantly in value once mainstream has understood what this is about, and when the masses come and there's going to be a huge demand. I think the supply shock will automatically increase the value of these bitmaps. It's just a waiting game now. Now, nobody knows how long it's going to take, but we just have to wait. So now we're just going to head over to the activity tab on Magic Eden, and we're just going to look at the activity, really, I guess, in terms of, obviously that's what the name of the tab is. And you can see that there is some real frequent buying going on here, which is great to see, of all different types of bitmap numbers. And this is pretty constant, to be honest. It is literally being bought almost like, you could almost say like every 10-20 minutes someone is buying a bitmap, which is great to see. So it's obviously, from a volume perspective and activity perspective, it's obviously really, really good to see that there's quite a lot of activity happening and between sellers and buyers, which is, seems like a really sort of healthy market to be in. It's not like we've just got a whole bunch of people selling and no one buying. So, when you see that there's a real mixture of people selling and buying, that's great. And, if you look at the actual values here of what people are picking up the bitmaps, some are mopping pretty much mopping up the floor prices. Some are going above that. So that's really good to see, I guess. I also thought it was worth just heading over to the mempool and just trying to work out exactly what block number we're on. So it looks like we're on 809,753, which is the latest block to be mined. So looking at that, obviously the next one being 809,754 and 809,755, the one thereafter. So I just want to now check, and for us to just see on Unisat, are these new blocks also in demand, getting picked up really quickly? What's incredible is to see that the transaction fees or the minting fees or mempool fees are really low on sats at the moment. I mean, that is pretty low. So, people that are inscribing at the moment, they can really take advantage of that. I mean, I remember at the peak of when these bitmaps were getting inscribed, I mean, some of these were like 35, 45 sats, maybe even higher at times. So that is incredible to see them this low. So yeah, great opportunities at the moment, I guess, to be picking up anything in ordinals ultimately, as well as, I guess, for the content creators to upload when they're inscribing something onto the blockchain. So that's really interesting. So let's just head over to Unisat. So we're going to type in 809,754 and just do a search on that. So yeah, that got picked up, although it's unconfirmed at the moment. Let's just do the 753. That's all got confirmed. And let's see if anyone's trying to front run it as well. No, that's good. So it's nice to see it's not trying to get front run at the moment. But someone's obviously already tried to put their claim in for the 809,754. So that looks like it's going through at them. So that's pretty good to see, because, if you recall, at some point, people were, you were seeing multiple of these of people trying to inscribe. So, perhaps the heat's off at the moment. Obviously, someone is continuing to pick these up. I'm just going to look at the last few letters and numbers here, or letters in this case. So if I just go back to maybe 2, let's just see. So SHJ. Yeah, look, it's different people. Because I was having a bit of a suspicion, could it just be, the same sort of people trying to pick these up? So you've got different, it genuinely feels like there is a bit of competition going on at the moment, people trying to get it. Now, that's really, really good to see. So I guess at the moment, you've got to toss it up between the secondary market or trying to inscribe first. I mean, the sats are so low at the moment that I guess there is always the risk that if you're trying to buy the next block that's trying to be mined or minted, that you do run the risk of being front run by someone else if they got to you or got to the block before you, versus buying a bitmap that is a slightly dearer price. I mean, it actually might be quite interested to see. So if we just go to inscribe, it'll probably be pretty cool just to see actually what the cost of trying to do one now. So if I was just going to do, I don't know, that one, which hopefully will be shortly, let's just see the difference in price. Okay, so this is charging me 12 sats. Probably the mempool just went up. But look at that, it only costs $1 at the moment. With all the fees, it only costs $1. So I guess, yeah, is it, you could, in theory, have a go at the, trying to pick up 5 of these versus trying to pick one up on the secondary market, because, the floor price is around that. I think it was around the sort of, I know I checked it in Great British pounds, which was working out about £5 at the moment, which I imagine in US is probably $6-7 US, something like that. So that's really interesting to see that it, all these new blocks can be picked up still for $1 at the moment. So yeah, that seems. I mean, if you think about it, if you can get one of those and put them even at the floor price, you are making money straight away, because people are picking up these at the floor price. So that's really, yeah, I think that's really interesting to see what the latest is on that. So like I said, this was just a very short video to do a snapshot of where we are in the market in terms of Bitmap. Now, I didn't show you Ordinal's wallet, which I know is also a platform that many of us like in the community. The reason being was just because there was a little bit of a discrepancy between both Magic Eden and Ordinal's wallet, which perhaps is normal and to be expected. However, the data was quite similar, so I thought I would just stick with Magic Eden. So yes, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and until next time. And before you go, I just wanted to remind you that the MetaRush channel created the first Bitmap merch store, which you can find at mybitmap.com. If you haven't already, please do hit the subscribe button, like, share and comment, and until next time.